Hi guys, welcome back to this plumberparts.co.uk video. Today we are going to finish off part 2 of this lovely job here, installing a radiator on this wall. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, what that covers is getting our pipes down, actually building the wall up, finding out where our anchorage points are going to be, and getting our pipes so they stick out of the wall in the right place for when we fit the radiator in this video. So if you haven't watched part 1 yet, I'll leave a link below and I suggest you watch that now, okay? In this video, we're going to hang the radiator on the wall, we're going to get it piped up, we're going to connect it into the heating system, we're going to fill the heating system up, and then I'll show you the radiator getting hot using a thermal camera. We'll then cover the minor alterations we sometimes have to do on a heating system in part 3 of this video series. Remember, all the tools that I use in this video you can buy on our Plumber Parts Amazon store. Click them at the end of the video. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Bang the subscribe. You know what to do. Also, one thing I'd like to say is thanks ever so much for getting us to 200,000 subscribers. So yeah, thanks very much for that. It's nice to know that we've helped you out and all that sort of stuff, all right? Anyway, let's get on with the video. Remember, there's one thing you got to do. That's all tight. Now, in part 1's video, John Brooks commented that it'd probably be better that I use corner valves. I actually thought, you know what? He's bloody well right. But that does put us into a little bit of a situation when it comes to where are we going to put our drain off. Like I explained in the video before, we've got this drop down leg here, and drop down legs each need their own individual drain off, because if you drain off at the boiler or somewhere else, that leg might not drain itself out. So you have to make sure there's one on every drop down leg. So I've got the corner valves, bought them on Amazon, didn't I? I'll put a link to them actually in the video description below. So what I've done, I've bought one of these, right? This is a not very standard drain off, okay? So we can just undo that. The thing is that I'm gonna have a problem with the depth to get this in as it goes straight back into the wall. So there might be a little bit of skullduggery in this video, trying to get round it. So let's get the radiator in. I'll be putting knee pads on in a minute, believe me. So, and also I've got to do all the caulking under here, but I'm gonna wait until the radiator's right in the way before I do it. So firstly, let's get our centre. So we're going to measure from the centre of the pipe to the centre of the pipe when the pipe is straight. Just like that. Don't tell me it's happened already. The pencil's gone. Centre of the pipe to the centre of this pipe. That's 560. Divide that by 2 and you've got your place to be. 560. Emily, what's 56 divided by 2? Now soon I'm going to get a laser for this. I mean, I'm waiting for it to come in the post, but it's not here yet. And I'm absolutely gutted because I'd love to have used it on this video, but... So look, we can just mark our centre there. We don't have to put loads of marks on the wall. Sorry guys, I just realised that there's a blodge of something on the lens. Don't worry, it's all gone now. The thing is, right, is the top brackets are the only load-bearing part of the radiator that I'm having, because the bottom brackets are actually just stopping the radiator going into the wall. They're just plastic ones, they're not actually load-bearing. The other thing is the radiator brackets that I'm hanging on here are adjustable up and down the columns, which is great news because it means that we can get it on the wall and then just slightly adjust it up and down so that we get our centres exactly right. The one thing is that now I am going for corner valves. It does mean the radiator is going to be set a lot lower down, which might look a bit funny. So, you know what, I might just do a little test hang now and just see what it looks like. You know what, I don't think that looks too bad at all actually. I'm going with it. Now the thing is, what's great about this is the fact that we left ourselves so much room, didn't we, when we were putting that noggin in. There's a noggin there up here, it's about that deep, if you remember from the previous video. So I know that I've got lots of play up and down. So if I went up from this line at the bottom here, we've got that little mark just up there, and then all I need to do is get my centre line all the way up. It's such a shame I don't have my laser here to do it, but there we go, just a tiny little mark there. Let's get that lined up. And there's our centre line there, and now here's our height as well. Hold on though, wait. It's lovely, we're marking everything up. We want to hang the radiator on the wall. But we've changed what we're doing, aren't we, from what we did when we planned out this. Because our radiator is going to be, it was going to be sort of about this low, because we were going to elbow up, and that would have given us the room to do that really important bit and get that drain off in. What I'm going to have to do now, I'm going to have to take off the chromium, because you cannot solder onto chrome pipe. You have to solder it onto copper pipes. So I've got a little wire brush on here that will just go round and round and round. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder on my drain off, just so it's out here. And also, then I'm just going to leave a stub of copper on the other side and solder that on. And then when it comes to us putting the radiator on, we'll have the drain off and everything there already. So look at that, you can see it's coming off there. We just got to work around the pipe. This is going to take a little while, but it's well worth doing to make sure we get this right. While I'm doing that, I just want to let you know about the AL Army. If you click the join button or click the AL Army join button in the description below, you will get access to our fantastic AL Army live streams on Thursday evenings where we sit down, have a beer together. There's a real community here now, it's absolutely wicked. You'll know current members of the AL Army because they'll be flexing their spanner rank, and also plumber emojis in the comments below this video. You get to choose the songs that I sing at the end. You also get a sneak peek of next week's video, so they've seen this video already, and I'll also talk them through it. They'll get behind the scenes access as well. So click on the join button below, or if you're on an iOS device, click join the AL Army in the description below, and I'll see you in next Thursday's AL Army live stream. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Who's gonna win? Gadget Man 36 has won it! Gadget Man 36, here you go, here it is. You've won it. I'll chuck in some extra bits and pieces for you as well, mate. Merry Christmas. What a great way to end the worst plumbing year ever. Anyway, back to the video. So we're just getting these bits soldered up now. As you guys know, I like to see a little bit of solder, but this is difficult to do, and hopefully you've learned about how to solder onto chrome pipe. So there you go, guys. Hopefully you're a bit more learned now about the hazards of soldering onto chrome pipe. So we've got a centre line there. Up there, we've got our centre to the top there. Now, all we need to do is exactly what we did earlier on. It's very simple. We'll just measure the distance between the two centres. This part of the column here and this part of the column here. Just going to measure that and just measure it out to there. Centre, centre, and then we can screw up our brackets on there, and we can do it into wood, so we've got really good fixings. So the basic way that we use to hang a radiator is we've got our bottom line there, that's the centre of the pipes. We've got our centre line, then we can measure the height of the radiator itself, put that centre line up high, then use a spirit level to measure that across, and once we know the centres of our radiator brackets, because we've measured the centres of our columns, we'll know exactly where to fix our radiator brackets to the wall. Right, so there we are, we're on, but we've got adjustment if we want it, because these two brackets can move up and down. It does look a little slightly like it's out, just a tiny bit, so this bracket's either got to go, just come up a little bit, something like that. Standard procedure here, look at how well that's lined up as well. Just going to pop a little bit of lock on there. Loctite is my favourite thread seal. For this, well, for most things, to be honest. And in a minute, before we tighten that up, we'll just get those back clamps popped on properly as well. So when I'm doing my valves, I always like to put a little bit of Boss White or some kind of jointing paste on the valves themselves, on the compression fittings. Not just because it makes a great seal, but also it allows you to tighten up the compression fittings in a nice even way. It allows the nut to slip over in the taper. So I've done that on both sides here, as you can see. And I think you'll agree now that everything's looking like it's going really well. Once I've got these two on, I'm going to shut both the valves. We're just going to do a quick pressure test before we then go upstairs and connect into the system. Right then, gang, we've got it installed. We've got the two pipes on. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop upstairs, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to pressure test each line of the pipework before we put it onto the main heating system, just to make sure we don't have any little leaks that we need to fix now. It's a lot easier we do that now rather than when we've got a whole heating system of water behind that leak. Just so much longer, isn't it, to drain it out and do that. So I've got my lights set up, and obviously, as usual, Georgie. George! Hey! George! You are so grumpy. One thing I know for a fact that I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to run this round up into this radiator here. I don't want to be coming out the centres anymore for when I pop this radiator back on the wall. And also, that's probably going to mean then that this piece here is going to get cut. We're going to bring it further along, and then we're going to elbow off that 22 that way and then down onto this pipe here. So what we're going to do is we know then that we're going to put two 15 mils coming up and then two elbows going across to where we're going to work. So it's a good idea that now we just pop apart our Buteline pieces and get these stubs made up and soldered now. That's going to make it a lot easier for us. So let's do that quickly. The bit I love most. Oh, dropping bits everywhere. Soldering on your knees. Just down on your knees in general. Wow, guys, just watch those ox cutters fly through that pipe. You probably didn't notice there, I also removed a little badge as well off the copper pipe, which drives me mental when they put that on there. Anyway, I'm just getting my little stubby bits soldered on now, and just still really impressed with the system here for getting this stuff on. It's absolutely wicked. And after about 5 minutes work, ready to pressure test. Good news as well, guys, the dodgy one that I was worried about, just done, and it's not leaked. Right then, gang, so we've pressure tested these two pipes now. Absolutely fine on those joints, especially the one I was really worried about. So now what I'm going to do is drain the heating system down. If you wanted to at this point, you could turn the heating system back on before draining down and then fill these pipes to see which is the flow and return, but all my TRVs are universal, so it doesn't really matter. So once you've done that, you want to turn the heating system off. You need to make sure that the stats are turned down, make sure the time clocks are switched off. If you're really worried, pull the power to the pump and also switch the boiler off and pull the fuse to the whole heating system if you're really worried about it. Now I'm going to take this downstairs and get draining out. Right, so we've got a drain off down here that you could tell I've fitted because it's here. Still got to finish off that bit of skirting board. Right, so we're going to pop that on here. Now this is a drop down leg, but it will drain off the area we want to work on. Got a bit of water there. Right, so we're now draining down. Also, it's a good idea to check on the radiator you're working on, the one you're draining off with, that it's fully open on the lock shield. Oh yeah, there's those fans there. They are quality though. So TRV's fully open. I know the lock shields, I know that's open for shizzle. I've done a video before about how to drain down either an F&E or pressurised system, but after what I've just done there, I'd go around, open up all the radiator vents upstairs, and then go and sit down next to my tabby cat for about half an hour, give him a good old stroke, make sure that the hoses stop running, and then I'll go back to the pipework where I'm working. Right, so everything's drained down now. We'll be putting this radiator back on. Cute. So we know for a fact that this pipe here is just going to join up onto that one there. This we're just going to cut and then put a straight and then an elbow and an elbow up so it comes out nice and straight on that. And we're also going to do the same over here with what's left of this pipe, but we're going to have to just take a little bit of the top of that joist out. I'm not worried about doing that. We can cut into joists, especially when it's just a small piece here. It's just going to be sort of an edge piece. And also, it's a 9x3 joist. As a chicken would say, it's clucking massive. So we're teeing into the system here. As you're aware, these are the main flow and return 22 mils. They're a tee off from somewhere else in the house, but as long as you know that they supply the flow and return of that radiator above, you know that you'll be able to tee in the radiator below, and that's what we're doing there. You'll notice as well that we're bringing in our 22 mil and then we're reducing it down through that tee to 2 15 mil feeds each side. That is how we always do this type of work. In the next video, I'll be talking to you about how many radiators you can add onto a 15 mil feed, and also all the tweaks and tricks that you can use to get that new radiator working if you're having a problem once you've installed it. So we've got everything back on again. Just going to do a couple of little bits. I'll just nip up these valves here, just nip them. They don't need to be mad tight. The olives on these will probably nip up quite nicely. We've already done our pressure test downstairs, haven't we? So we know that that's going to be okay. So what I would now do is make sure that all the radiator valves are open in the house, and then you can either follow the video that I've made in the past, how to fill up a pressurized heating system or how to fill up an F&E tank heating system, get the whole heating system filled back up again, and then we can turn it all back on. I'm going to be lucky here because I don't need to manually vent out all my radiators because I've got a load of these Aladdin auto vents on here, which I'll also have in our Amazon store as well. So first things first, let's get up in the loft. Got no pressure at the moment, so just going to open that and we're just going to give that a crack. So that's just cracked open there, just a tiny bit, and that's fully open there. So now the system is filling, but I've still got the drain off outside opened up. This is a good idea. To do it like this is a nice way of doing it for me, because I'm currently up in the loft opening up that valve. And if I can have it so, okay, I'm allowing water into the system, but to enable the system to fill up, I'm actually with the system downstairs, that's much better. So I'll be coming down here now, pop downstairs, but we've still got our hose there and that's still open. We should be able to come out here and see in a sec the water is coming out. Look, there you go. So we've got water coming out now. This is by far the best way to fill a heating system up. So now I've got control as to whether the system's going to start filling and actually pressurising properly because of that valve just down there. So now I'm going to shut it. So that's now shut. The system is now pressurising. And look, I'm right down here next to the radiator that I've been working on. And I know that I can check it straight away. But the most important bit is that I can go back up here and get straight to the pipework and have a good look, make sure we haven't got any leaks. First indication, just it's not beautiful soldering, but it needs to just work. So let's see if we've actually got a bit of water coming up here now. Yep. Straight away got water coming up here. And what I'll do actually, I might as well just balance this radiator now. So there it is shut. And now that's in its balanced position. Open that as well. That's all good. That's going to automatically vent out of here, so I don't have to worry about it. Now, you might be like, why is he going around opening radiators that he's closed? Now, I don't usually do this. I don't usually close all the radiators in a house when I do a drain down, purely to save time, because usually what you'll find if you do that, you'll find that you get airlocks. But because I'm here at my own gaff, I'm quite happy to just take that risk. Just going to leave those two there. I've got a feeling those valves are a bit more they need a little bit more tweaking to open up. This one's on the end of a run, so sometimes that needs just a bit more. I want to see 1 bar cold. That's basically what we're aiming at on a pressurised system, or that's what I get mine at. I know it's pitch black, guys. Hold. Be nice to see a tiny little bit of pressure in here now, if anything. Oh, we are. How about that? Guys, that is really good to see. Really, really encouraging. Now, you'd obviously expect me to go to every radiator and touch it and feel it, and I do absolutely love doing that. Let's just have another look down here. We've now got heating system water to there and there, but these valves are both shut at the moment. We haven't got them open. But we don't really need to go up to every radiator because look, thermal camera, that'll do it. I can just have a look with that, can't I? So is that radiator getting hot? So that says to me that radiator is getting hot. Obviously the heating system's still catching up, but we've definitely got flow there, so that's good. This beast, slowly getting hot. This rad's getting hot. All our pipework's hot down there. Let's have a look at this radiator here. I want you to see this. So there you go. At the moment, our radiator is 11 degrees C, okay? Let's open this up and see what we get. Right, so we're getting hot already. See that? Is that rising up the radiator? Look at that. So that's what that diverter does. Okay, we've got a little bit just shooting across the bottom, probably just getting past the diverter. But look, you see that, how that's working for us? So let's just let that vent itself out for a little while. It's going to take a few minutes to do it, but we're relying now on our little Aladdin auto vent up here to just get everything out, okay? Hello, my darling, how about you? How are you doing? Oh, look at you. Oh, what are they? Yeah, I bet you are. Got no heating, love. Oh, look at those. That's for later. Right, where are we getting now? Oh yeah, we're really getting up there now, look at that. Almost to the top. And as soon as we get to the top like that, you'll see that this red section down here is going to shoot right up there. We should see it nice and hot right at the top up there. It's only 16 degrees up at the top of the rad. I'll confirm it by feeling it. Oh yeah. Obviously guys, because we're using auto vents, we'd still need to top the system up if it's a pressurised system, just like we would do if we're normally venting. Right, so it's been about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Let's see where we are now. Wow, 60 degrees at the top there. Absolutely fantastic. Roasting hot. That radiator over there, roasting hot. She's hot. That's hot. Everything is hot. Right then guys, there you go, all done. The beast has been on, it's hot, the wall's painted. You can't see it, but I filled the cubby hole down there, did a lovely little job with a set of magnets. Got a little finger hole in there as well, so you can finger it and take the old beast out. We've got a nice little effect here with the light as well that changes colour. I haven't put those diffusers on yet, don't want to. They're annoying, they keep popping off. The radiator works, it's made a massive difference to the BTU output in this room. It used to struggle effectively because we had one radiator over there under the window. There's a big cast iron radiator by the door that looks great, but they're not the best at giving out BTUs, even though they've got a very slow heat curve. But adding this, we popped on probably about another 1800 BTU on this room, and it really gets up to temperature now, and it keeps it nice and warm. It's not actually running at the moment because I've got the fire going, and if you're wondering what's under that carpet there, I'm brewing 40 pints of Woodford's Beer Gold for Christmas. When it comes to doing this, you saw how easily we got all our anchorage points. We've banged into wood every time up there. Now, this is an unusual radiator because the anchorage points at the top are the only load-bearing part of the radiator. The bottom pieces are just to stop the radiator going back into the wall, and you just adjust them out to make sure that the radiator is nice and level on the wall out. So once you've got your system filled up, once you've balanced it all out, I've done a video on how to balance a heating system, you'll know that you're getting, all your radiators are getting nice and warm now. The last thing you'll need to do is inhibit the heating system. Whoa, 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 let's not jump the gun here, guys. Look at this as well, how beautiful this is. Look at that pocket door, the way it goes in. So guys, come back for part 3, the final episode, all about the little tricks that you might need to know to get that new radiator working, and also making sure that the whole heating system works properly as well once you've added a new radiator to it. So I'll see you in next week's video, guys. If I don't see you before then, have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year, and remember to hold tight. Oh yeah, and part 2 was delayed by Matt, my plasterer, and also a guy I play cricket with. He turned up 5 days late, so that meant I could ask him questions about plastering. And also, I'm just mesmerised watching plasterers at work. Bad. It's always a dream to watch. Oh, look at it. As ever, Foreman G, making sure that all is well. George, are you ever not just sat there watching what's going on, huh? George? Matt, if you could give one bit of advice to the plumbers out there from a plasterer's perspective, bearing in mind, I don't really think we cross over that much in trades, what would it be?
Don't leave your pipes sticking out in the
Piffling. Oh, mate, they've got to stick out somewhere, haven't they?
Yeah, just don't put radiators on walls and stuff.
What, and ruin your walls?
Yeah.